Bienvenidos al Coliseo de Los Ángeles. Es un sitio histórico que cumple más de 100 años. El Coliseo es el único sitio olímpico del mundo que alojará 3 Juegos Olímpicos. Agradecemos a la visión del alcalde Karen Bass para mantener los Juegos Olímpicos aquí en nuestro Coliseo. Good morning. My name is George Pla. I'm president of the Coliseum Commission. I'm joined by my fellow commissioners, Solomon Rivera, Curran Price, Michael Fleming, Holly Mitchell, and Janice Hahn. And the president of the Friends of the Coliseum, and of course our partners from USC, Dan Stimler, Sam Garrison, and Joe Fearon. Thank you for your partnership. I want to welcome you to the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, the only venue in the world that will host 3 Olympics. The Coliseum is over 100 years old. We have hosted JFK, the Pope, the World Series, Super Bowl, Billy Graham, Evel Knievel, and we even let UCLA play here. But look at this structure. Picture the Olympics in 1932. Think about that for a minute. 1932. And of course, the 84 Olympics, and now the 28 Olympics. And we will always remember Mayor Bass in Paris, along with Simone Biles, waving the Olympic flag, signaling that the Olympics will now come to Los Angeles. Under the leadership of Mayor Bass, I want to assure you of one thing. We will be ready for the Olympics in 2028. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Bass.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is a wonderful morning in LA, a day of celebration. I want to thank the president of the Coliseum Commission, George Pla, and welcome everyone here to the Memorial Coliseum. This will become the first venue in history to host events for the 3rd Olympic Games. For more than a century, the Coliseum has been a landmark host to some of the most important moments in all of sports history, and that story continues in 2028. In 1932 and in 1984, the Coliseum welcomed tens of thousands of visitors to watch the opening and closing ceremonies, track and field, and more. In 2028, the whole world will watch as we make history yet again. This will be the heartbeat of a games that will take place in every neighborhood and in every corner of this city. From the triathlon at Venice Beach to skateboarding in the San Fernando Valley, from boxing downtown to baseball at Dodger Stadium and track and field here at Expo Park, the entire city will be on display. That's why my office has been bringing Angelinos together from across the city over the last few months to beautify our neighborhoods. Through Shine LA, we have planted trees, cleaned our parks, painted curbs, and more, because we all can play a different part in preparing our city to welcome the world. We can all make a difference by working together. Someone that I have worked with for years, George Pla, as president of the commission, has been a constant force advocating for the Coliseum. I want to acknowledge my partner, the mayor of Inglewood, James Butts, who I call the transformational mayor because he has transformed Inglewood, and Kevin, who will be our partners in the ceremonies at the SoFi in Inglewood. I also want to thank LA 28 Chairman Casey Wasserman, LA 28 CEO Reynold Hoover, and the entire LA 28 team for your hard work leading up to these games. I also want to acknowledge the President of the City Council, Marquise Harris Dawson, Councilwoman Heather Hutt, and the executive director of major events in the city of Los Angeles, who will be coordinating the work of the city with LA 28 and the city of Inglewood, former council member Paul Krikorian. And to the athletes, we thank you not only for your success on the field, but for all that you do to inspire the next generation. Our city and our country is going through challenging times right now, but the Games present a unique opportunity for all of us to come together and work with urgency to better our city. This is the only time the world comes together as one, and I know that when we come together here in 2028, that we will lead a lasting legacy for generations to come. Coming together for sports, bringing the young people of the entire world together. It was an incredible experience being in Paris last year and seeing what happens, the magic that happens when sports unites the world. So thank you again for joining today as we make history together. Thank you very much. And let me now introduce the transformational mayor, James Butts.
Good morning. You know, when I was born, I lived in an apartment that is now part of the USC campus, and they're calling me, I guess. Hold on. Oh, let's see. And I never dreamed that 67 years later, I'd be standing here with the leader of Los Angeles, who is a really great mayor. And I want to give a big hand to Karen Bass because she's leading through a very special time in the city of Los Angeles. Give a big hand for her. Inglewood has transformed somewhat over the last 10 years. And on July 14th, 2028, the Olympic opening ceremony will be shared between LA Memorial Coliseum and SoFi Stadium in the city of Inglewood. SoFi will also host the Olympic swimming competition during the 2028 Olympic Games. That's July 14th, but that's not enough. On August 15th, 2028, the Paralympic opening ceremony will take place again in SoFi Stadium, the most magnificent stadium in the world. This sets the stage to showcase the spectacular scale and magnitude of the limitless possibilities for LA's first Paralympic Games. The ceremony will introduce the Paralympic movement to the region in one of the most modern and impressive stadiums in the world, creating an unparalleled platform to celebrate these games and the extraordinary athletes. Now, Inglewood in 1984 was host to Olympic basketball. I was a venue commander there. I was a lieutenant in the Inglewood Police Department. So I cannot tell you how much this means to me personally. And thank you to SoFi for taking the city from just being, and the Olympics, from being a national city to an international city. So let's move on and do great things. Thank you. I didn't know I was supposed to introduce Kevin.
You're good.
Hold on a second. I was supposed to introduce Kevin. Now, Kevin Demoff is somebody that I've been dealing with since, I think, 2018 when we started talking to the NFL and the Rams, and a dream came true. And I want to thank Kevin, Stan Kroenke, Otto Malley for helping Inglewood live his dream. Kevin Demoff.
Thank you, Mayor Butts. Thank you, Mayor Bass. What a great day to be standing here in front of the Coliseum where we were able to return with the Rams in 2016. But when Stan Kroenke dreamed about bringing the Rams back to Los Angeles, it was with the idea of building a stadium that could host the world's greatest events. And I can't think of any greater stage in global sports than hosting the opening ceremonies of the 2028 Olympics. SoFi Stadium will bring together, in partnership with the LA Coliseum, the world's greatest athletes to kick off the 2028 Games. It's somewhat full circle for me as an Angelino. I sat right behind here in the closing ceremonies when I was 7 years old and enjoyed watching the athletes end the 1984 Olympics, never knowing we would get to play a part in delivering what will be the most spectacular Olympic Games ever. Right down the street, there was swimming here in 1984. Swimming will now be at SoFi Stadium after the opening ceremonies in a great way to help bring the games back before we close it out here in the calls. I guess the flags aren't excited about swimming at SoFi Stadium. But our goal has always been to partner with the City of Los Angeles and LA28 to bring a transformational Olympic experience to our athletes and to our city. And we know SoFi Stadium will be ready when that time comes. But to bring the man who will help bring LA28 together in front of you now, it's my pleasure to introduce LA28 CEO Reynold Hoover.
So you never want to give the general a microphone, but I think Councilman Curran-Price, you need to come on up first. Sir.
You see why he's a general, right? Well, first of all, welcome to Council District 9. I'm Councilmember Curran-Price, and it's a real pleasure to join you this morning. You know, in just over a little over 1,100 days, the 20 Olympics is going to illuminate Los Angeles. But it's not just about the countdown to the medals or the records. It's about our people, our neighborhoods, and our spirit. And we're going to be showing that as the world, on the world stage. But let me first give a shout out to our tremendous partners. You heard from the President of the Coliseum Commission, George Pla. You'll hear soon from Ren Hoover, LA28 CEO, our friend Mayor Butts, and our very own Mayor Bass. We thank you all for guiding us toward this incredible chapter in our city's history. You know, being here today reminds us the true strength of Los Angeles, and it resides in our communities, in our neighborhoods, and the people who shape them. A few weeks ago, Mayor Bass challenged Angelinos everywhere. She asked us to come together in the spirit of health and wellness, to improve the health and beauty and to take ownership in our neighborhoods. She called on us to be active participants in this historic moment, not just as spectators, but really as change agents. And let me tell you, our South LA community answered the call. I'm here with our council president from the 8th District and Heather Hutt from the 10th District here in South LA, and we were ready to shine. In fact, in CD9, as a part of Shine LA, our efforts occurred over at Augustus Hawkins Park. Even in the rain, you'll recall, a couple of weeks ago, we had hundreds of volunteers armed with shovels, rakes. They were ready to plant trees. They were clean streets, and they wanted to learn how to be better stewards. They were actively engaged and involved. This energy, this resolve is what's going to carry us forward for the countdown to the 2028 Olympics. As the Memorial Coliseum gets ready for its close-up again, we're not going to be letting down our fellow Angelinos. We're going to show the globe that the real LA, a city that's rooted in history, driven by innovation, and fueled by culture. The opening ceremony, held right here, is a symbol of our legacy and this place has witnessed countless moments of triumph and unity over the years. And as we are geared up, we're ready to present these landmarks that symbolize our city's resilience and our creativity. From the birthplace of West Coast jazz along Central Avenue to the cutting-edge Lucas Museum of Narrative Art on this very campus, Expo campus, our venues are ready to honor the past, celebrate the future, and build toward making our community come together. Our venues are part of not just the current, but the future. LA28 is not an event, it's a movement. Because at its core, the games show us what's possible when people from every walk of life chase greatness, you know, with heart, with grit, and with integrity. So let's all focus on what's possible and be inspired by the excellence of the Coliseum's past and imagine what we can achieve when we work together for a common purpose. Thanks for being here. Let's go, LA 28. And now the general.
Thank you so much. What a great day to be in LA to celebrate the Olympics. And, you know, it's great to be here, even though, you know, as a general, I was going to say our colors have fallen, but we're still LA strong. So, Mayor Bass, thank you so much for your leadership as we're preparing to bring the Games back to Los Angeles, and for gathering us here today to announce the venues for the LA Olympic and Paralympic opening and closing ceremonies. I appreciate our special guests, and sincere thanks to Mayor Butts of Inglewood. Where'd he go? Oh. Mayor Butts of Inglewood, the 2028 venue city, Councilmember Price, thank you so much. George Plow, appreciate you being here, who also serves on our LA 28 Board of Directors. And of course, I'd like to recognize and ask you to join me in a round of applause for our Olympians and Paralympians who are here today. Mayor Bass, distinguished guests, fellow Angelinos, on behalf of all of us at Team LA 28, I'm proud to announce our official locations for the 2028 Olympics and Paralympic opening and closing ceremonies, which will be an historic moment for the city of Los Angeles. Together, these ceremonies will mark LA's third Olympic Games following the iconic celebrations of 1932 and 1984, and will be LA's first ever Paralympic Games. And even though Mayor Butts has already stole my headlines on all of the venues, let me just run through them for the official record. Here you go. On the 14th of July, 2028, just 1,162 days from today, who's counting? The Olympic opening ceremonies will be a dual celebration between the LA Memorial Coliseum and the stadium in Inglewood, marking the beginning of the largest Olympics ever held. Let me say that again, the largest Olympics ever held. On July 30th, 2028, the Olympic closing ceremonies will then be held right here at LA Memorial Coliseum. Then, 2 weeks later, for the first time in Los Angeles, on August the 15th, 2028, the Paralympic opening ceremony will take place at the stadium in Inglewood and will herald the beginning of the largest Paralympic competition in the movement's history. And I'll repeat that again. The largest Paralympic competition in the movement's history. Finally, on August 27, 2028, the Paralympic closing ceremonies will return here to the Coliseum, one of the most storied games venues in the world. Today's announcement follows our just-released updated Olympic venue plan designed to showcase competition venues from the San Fernando Valley and all the way down to the Lower Trestles Beach, with 2 events taking place in Oklahoma City. Our Olympic venues highlight the very best of Los Angeles, the Southern California region, and America, which will be on display for the world stage, welcoming 15,000 athletes and millions of fans from around the world. In the coming weeks, we look forward to sharing our updated Paralympic venue plan, which will similarly feature world-class existing venues across the LA region. But today, I am especially pleased that we are joined by 2 members of our LA 28 team who represent our Olympians and Paralympians. Please welcome 4-time Olympic silver medalist Carolyn Joyce, who represented Team USA for swimming in 2004, in 2008, and 2012, along with Team Brazil world wheelchair tennis player Natalia Mayara, who competed in 2012 and 2016 Paralympic Games.
Hi. For athletes, the ceremonies are very different from the competition. It's a moment where you can truly celebrate. There's no pressure to perform. It's all about enjoyment. And for me, that took place in London in 2012. It was my 3rd Olympics, but my first time being able to walk in opening ceremonies. I'll never forget being in the tunnel, waiting for the announcer to say, "Welcome, United States of America," where we would walk out and do our lap around the track. I was so overwhelmed with emotion. I had tears in my eyes. I had chills on my body. I didn't know if this was the right way to respond to opening ceremonies. And I looked behind me at my teammates, LeBron James, Serena Williams, Lolo Jones. Everybody had the same emotion. Everybody had tears in their eyes. Everybody had chills. And we walked out, and it was one of the greatest moments of my life. So I'm so excited to have our Team USA athletes get to experience that in a home Olympics here in Los Angeles. And I want to hand it over to my teammate, Natalia.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Today we're here celebrating that the first ever Paralympic Games are coming to LA. And I know, I'm really excited about it and really looking forward to the impact that you have not just in the sports world, but also in the communities and social constructs. I'm from Brazil, and in Rio, I really got to see how much it impacted the visibility and how the perspective for people with disabilities in Brazil, and I'm really looking forward for that to happen here in LA. The LA 28 Games, it really, really has the opportunity to reshape the global conversation about disabilities and really show everybody that the Paralympic Games is all about elite competition. And once you experience that firsthand, you really get to understand it. For a Paralympic athlete, for an athlete in general, there's nothing like being cheered on by full crowds. And that was the highlight of my experience in Rio. There's no games like a homes game. So I'm really looking forward for all the athletes to experience that here in LA, from the opening ceremonies to their events and closing ceremonies, which will take place right here in 2028. Thank you.
Well, hearing from our athletes is what it is all about. Again, Los Angeles, it will be the first time we host the Paralympic Games. In 1984, that wasn't the case, but in 2028, it will be. And to see the youth of the world come together, I know that there will be more world leaders here for the opening event than any place in history. So on to 2028, a little over 1,000 days, and we will be back. Thank you very much, Los Angeles.